So with President Trump's tax plan revealed, what is next? Let's bring in Texas Republican Congressman and former Freedom Caucus member Brian Babin. Thanks for being with us, Congressman. From what you've heard of the plan, what do you like and what do you not like in it?
You know, I was a yes on this plan, David, about 3 weeks ago. I got a personal phone call, met personally with the president and the vice president, and they extended some conservative concessions to me, and I got to yes. And quite frankly, I have great optimism. I've been working very hard over the last couple of weeks trying to get both sides of this issue together, and I'm very optimistic that we're going to get something done.
So you knew 3 weeks ago that the plan was to cut the corporate rate down to 15% and to have 3 rates for individuals.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought you were talking about health care, David.
No. I'm talking about the tax plan. Sorry.
No, sir. I apologize.
Okay.
Yes, I am on board with this tax plan. And I think that our tax code is way too complex, too convoluted, 70,000 pages. Anytime we can get the tax rate down for job creators and businesses and individuals, we need to do that. I'm all for this plan.
Now, we have already heard some naysayers, though. Senator Orrin Hatch, when told about the reduction of the corporate tax to 15%, said, gee, I wonder how we're going to pay for that. So there are some Republican senators and representatives who've opposed parts of it. Is there any part of it that you dislike?
Well, let me just tell you this. This is one reason why we need to pass this health care reform. We've got to get hundreds of billions of dollars out of Obamacare when we repeal it to plow back into this tax reform act. And let me tell you something. The key to all of our problems is growth. We've been suffering under 1% growth for many years under President Obama's socialist left-wing agenda. And I think that we have an opportunity here to get 3–4% growth. And that will be an answer to a lot of our problems. And, you know, if we reduce that tax down to 15%, I believe we're going to see some of this growth. We're going to see a burgeoning of our economy.
Well, it is interesting that now the Freedom Caucus, of which you used to be a member, is in favor of the health care plan. I'm wondering, you kind of split from the Freedom Caucus when they opposed the health care plan. Did you have anything to do with getting them on board the plan now?
Well, let me just say this. I've been working the last couple of weeks, as I said earlier, when I misunderstood what you were talking about. I thought you were talking about health care. I've been working to get both sides together, and I think we've been very successful. I have many, many friends that are still in the Freedom Caucus. I've got conservative friends that are not in the Freedom Caucus. And, you know, when President Obama came to office, we had to try to stop his socialist agenda, and I thought the Freedom Caucus was a great place to do that from. But now we have an opportunity of a lifetime with President Trump in there and his conservative agenda. We have control of both houses of Congress, so we must make the best use of our opportunity. And I felt like this was something that we needed to do.
So you and others got the Freedom Caucus on board with health care, and that's a huge step forward. But I'm wondering if you'll have the same problems you did with tax cuts that you had with health care, or now that the Freedom Caucus is together with the president, whether you'll march in lockstep towards tax reform.
Well, let me put it this way. We're Republicans and conservative Republicans. We don't march in lockstep with anybody. We're up here to represent our 700,000 to 800,000 constituents and try to move this country in a different direction. But I am totally in favor of the agenda. President Trump ran on an agenda that I ran on, and quite frankly, I worked very hard for him, and I'm looking forward to moving this agenda forward. And tax cuts is the next step after we get through with health care. Yeah. Then we move on to regulatory reform, and we're going to see a country whose economy will catch on fire.